Looks like we got Steve Johnson coming, huh?
Well, we're working.
Who's driving that Skype?
Okay, there we go. The driver down. All right, listen, we have been really very excited. Our own Steve Johnson was chosen by Samaritan's Purse, one of a few throughout the country, to go on down to Ecuador and track the distribution of the Operation Christmas Child shoe boxes. And the goal from Southern Oregon was a little over 8,000. And so anyway, through the miracle of technology, ladies and gentlemen, we have him this morning, Steve Johnson, down in Ecuador. Hello, buddy.
Hola. Good morning to you. How are you doing? Finally, we made the connection.
You look great. What time of day is it down there?
Oh, I got a little sunburn yesterday. It's a little after 10 o'clock, and behind me, we are in Quito, and in fact, we are at one of the distribution points. We were at actually three yesterday, including two orphanages. So they've just had the clown troupe, which is kind of traveling with Samaritan's Purse, and they've done their act, and now they are handing out the gifts to the children inside, and it's really crowded. Otherwise, I'd bring you in that area. I was going to say I'd bring the studio to you. This is kind of our studio here, so you could see what that's all about. But it's an amazing day. I don't know if you can tell, but I've got a sunburn. Yep. It is really bright out here.
All right, so now, how many boxes will be distributed from that area? Do you know?
Well, we have two distributions here, and as I recall, there's probably, let's average out 40 each for the two today, so about 80 different boxes. And it's going to all sorts of different organizations. By the way, if you see this jiggling, this is the ultimate selfie. I am holding this up, okay? And I've only had 4 cups of coffee, and none of them have been decaf.
Really?
Okay, so if it's jiggling, I apologize in advance, but that's the way it is. That's what's happening right now. So we'll be giving about 80 boxes out today, boxes that could very well have come from Medford, Grants Pass, Wairika, and along the coast. And with me is Rick McConnell. He's a radio consultant who's also come from the United States, and he's joining us on this trip. And I'm interested to know, for those people who have joined us, like yourself, what would you say is the one thing that's impacted you so far?
Well, of course, seeing the children open the presents, but I've talked to so many kids, and this is something we can't fathom in America. So many kids have told me through translators this is the first gift they ever received. Of any type. In fact, I was doing an interview yesterday with a young man who's now involved with Samaritan's Purse and Operation Christmas Child, and he said that's exactly what happened to him. He was a small child, got a gift, the first Christmas gift he had ever received. So now he's involved in Operation Christmas Child.
Amazing.
But the things we take for granted in America are just very valuable here.
All right, and I've also brought back some video that you guys should have where perhaps we can show you a little bit of the kids who were unveiling their packages, opening them up yesterday. And I'll tell you, they are as happily surprised as you might think that they would be with getting this Christmas gift kind of a week before Christmas. So we'll be heading to another one of these zones, and hopefully I'll be able to talk to you before then.
All right, well, we are watching some of the video that you sent, Steve. It's wonderful. Now, you've gone to a couple of orphanages. What's on your agenda today? Where are you going?
Well, we have 2 places to go, and they're kind of giving us a potpourri of a lot of different locations. They may be orphanages, or they may be Christian organizations who are amassing these gifts. And this is pretty unique to have people like us who are out of town, so to speak, actually handing out these gifts, because normally they give that to the locals to do. So this is really a privilege to see in person those gifts being opened up.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, best to you. You look good in red.
Appreciate it. I'm looking for 100 SPF right now. I've got 30, so maybe that'll help.
Hey, Steve, if it's any consolation, it's 29 degrees here today and icy.
I see. Well, we found the weather can change here very quickly, so it could be raining in the next 45 minutes.
Okay. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later, friend.
All right. We'll be there probably about a half hour from now.
Okay. Look forward to it. Thanks. Well, we've been so excited to talk with our own Steve Johnson live from Ecuador. And are you on a bus?
I am on the bus. I'm one of the boys on the bus. And along with everybody else who's on the bus, too, all these people here. Now, that's only about half. That's about half of the bus because I'm halfway on the bus. I'm halfway out the bus too, I guess.
Yeah.
But we're on our way now from the previous place that you saw where we were giving out shoe boxes. And we're on our way to a public school where there's going to be about 200 kids, we're told, who are going to be waiting for shoe boxes there. So once again, a public school. I think this is a very interesting insight into how it works in Ecuador, where Samaritan's Purse with Operation Christmas Child is able to get actually into public schools, which would be very difficult for us to do in our area. But right now the bus has stopped, so the video isn't too bad. It doesn't look like I've had those 4 cups of coffee yet. But once it starts moving, the roads here will tell another story. But that's what we're doing right now. So we're hitting quite a few places and coming back with a lot of, I guess you'd say, firsthand impressions, really, of what we're taking away after giving these kids the shoe boxes, and really seeing how glad they are to get them, and how last night we heard how one shoebox can impact lives specifically towards Christ. We had two guys in their 20s who talked about how when they got a shoebox, they realized, you know what? Somebody loves me, and it's somebody who knows Jesus Christ, and that started them on their road to making a difference. And you never know what's going to happen in Ecuador because of that, and the 99 other countries where the shoe boxes are being delivered. We're moving. You might have noticed that.
Obviously, they don't have any laws where you can text, drive, and be on the phone at the same time.
Well, I think everybody here is happy that I'm not in the driver's seat. I'm halfway on the bus right now. So that's a good thing.
All right, so you're going to a public school, and then from there, where do you go, Steve?
Where do we go after the public school? Anybody know?
After the public school, we have...
oh, this is Mark Hard,
yeah.
Okay?
Hi there, from Syracuse, New York, in Quito, Ecuador. We are headed after the public school to lunch, and then after lunch, we'll be watching a presentation of the greatest journey.
Oh, yeah. Now, that's another aspect. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. That's another aspect of Operation Christmas Child and Samaritan's Purse. I wasn't that familiar with the greatest journey. Were you before this trip?
I had heard about it, but I didn't realize that it was a whole lesson plan. And, of course, they talked about lesson 4, where they have the opportunity to accept Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Very important lesson. A lot of people, that's their favorite lesson.
Yeah.
And I think we may be seeing that lesson today.
Okay, so we're being introduced to a lot of things that Samaritan's Purse is doing. So anyway, from the bus in Ecuador, somewhere in Quito, I take it back to the Dove Studios.
You guys all have red faces.
We do. I'll tell you, we are closer to the sun, I think. And this is like the 2-mile city, by the way. We're over 9,000 feet, so Denver might be the mile-high city. Quito is roughly the 2-mile-high city. And, yeah, it's... I've got sunscreen on now, but I didn't yesterday.
All right. Thanks, Steve. All right, Steve Johnson, our own Steve Johnson, live from Ecuador there on the bus as they're on their way from the distribution center to a public school, which is really a unique thing to happen with Samaritan's Purse. They're able to get into public schools and give these children a shoebox. Now, as we heard earlier, this part of the world, this is the first Christmas gift ever that these children have ever received. And there they are being distributed there, and not only into the private schools, but into the public schools as well. Steve is getting a lot of videos. Those watching on the Dove TV can see a little bit of the handing out of those boxes, and we'll get some more of that when Steve comes back. But what an incredible experience, and then show the movie as well. Isn't that neat?
Yeah. He was on a busload of media people.
Yeah, well, I think what happened is Samaritan's Purse picked about a dozen media people across the country, and Steve Johnson was one of them.
Yeah.
And they all met up in Miami, flew on down to Ecuador, and then they're all
I noticed every time he moves the microphone to one of them, they're pretty natural. Yeah. They all just go right into it.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, so that's cool. So, and I'm sure he's making some great relationships and friendships down there as well.